sell it all today.
Margin call is on sale. Considering it's always switching streaming services, it's worth picking up. It's worth picking up for the director's commentary. J.C. Shandor, the writer and director, does the commentary with Neal Dodson, one of the producers. I watched the movie with the commentary recently. Even though I've watched the movie several times, they talked about themes that I hadn't picked up on and provided key insights to the production and script that made me see things in a new way. There were 3 key insights from the commentary that are either directly related to theories I've seen or answered questions from your comments. Before we take a look, a reminder that while a director can say what they meant, the audience can still have their own interpretation. In the senior partners meeting, John uses the extensive metaphor of music to describe the market. More specifically, the metaphor seems to be about the game Hot Potato, a game where people don't want to be left holding an object when the music stops. I got several comments saying that the music lines were a reference to a quote from the Citigroup CEO during the crash. He said, "As long as the music is playing, you've got to get up and dance." Neal Dodson addresses this quote in the director's commentary. He said that the lines that J.C. Shandor had written in a vacuum ended up being echoed by people in real life. The CEO's quote is referenced in the documentary Inside Job. So, John's lines were not inspired by the quote. However, I did some additional digging. The CEO's quote is from July 2007. J.C. Shandor said that an experience he had in 2006 was the first nugget of an idea, and he wrote the script in November 2008. So, could he have heard the quote beforehand and been inspired by it? Maybe. But Neal Dodson says that the quote became widely known from Inside Job and The Big Short, and the script was written in a vacuum. Directly after the music metaphor is over, John asks Jared and Sarah what they will do. They don't say anything. John says the famous line, "Be first, be smarter, or cheat," and says it's easier to be first. Jared then says they should sell it all that day. Why didn't Jared say anything at first? I didn't do a good job of explaining this in a previous video. In my opinion, I believe that Jared knows John well enough to know that he's not done lecturing, so he's waiting him out. I got a lot of comments saying that this interaction was completely planned ahead of time. John and Jared already knew their exit strategy, so the meeting was just to get the senior partners on board. So, what is it? Why didn't Jared say anything? Let's see what J.C. Shandor has to say. J.C. Shandor says that Jared didn't know the answer. After John says it's easier to be first, J.C. Shandor says that Jared is thinking the same thing. To me, this sounds like this moment was not planned. And perhaps the fire sale was also not planned between John and Jared before the meeting. The tone in JC's quote sounds like Jared knows exactly what to suggest after John says it's easier to be first. I think John and Jared both come to the conclusion independently that a fire sale is the only path forward. This makes more sense to me than having this moment be completely planned out between the two of them. In the first meeting scene, Jared, Sam, and Sarah are discussing Peter's findings. Jared leaves the room briefly. At the end of the scene, he says he's called John. Jared is only out of the room for 7 seconds. I've seen comments questioning this moment. How did Jared convey the problem to John so quickly? Did they already know what was coming, so Jared just said it was happening? Did they have a code word? Did he even reach John? Overall, what did they say on the phone? Well, J.C. Shandor says that Jared said to get John on the line. So there you have it. He didn't reach him. This brings up more questions. Did Jared talk to John before the senior partners meeting? How did John know that it was bad enough to return to the building? How did they work out the logistics of getting everyone there for the meeting at an uncommon hour? The answers to these questions are left up to us, the audience, to think about. That wraps up the 3 insights from the director's commentary. What do you think? Do these insights change your opinion on the movie? Drop a comment down below. What other mysteries from the movie would you like answered? If you'd like to buy Margin Call, consider using my link. If you like this video, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.